How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a Black Friday edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving holiday. I am completely stuffed with turkey, birthday cake, you name it. And speaking of birthdays, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for all of your birthday comments. I was literally overwhelmed with comments on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I could not respond to every single comment I got, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for saying happy birthday. And people have been asking me, how does it feel to be 30? As far as I'm concerned, 30 is the new 20. Nothing's going to slow me down, including no DQ&A video. So let's get right down to your questions. This is from Matt139. Whether it happens or not, if WWE really thinks Ryback can be their next top guy, should they have him win the title at TLC and then beat The Rock at Royal Rumble to show that he is the real deal? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Ryback in the next month or two. Will WWE really have Ryback lose to CM Punk 3 pay-per-views in a row when they're trying to build him up as the next big thing? I just don't know about that. But on the other hand, is WWE really going to do The Rock versus Ryback at the Royal Rumble? I would be very surprised to see that match happen at Royal Rumble. I just don't see it happening for a number of reasons. Number one, the seeds have already been planted for The Rock versus CM Punk. There was the big angle at Raw 1000 with The Rock being laid out by Punk, so the logical storyline is for The Rock to come back and get his revenge on CM Punk. And number two, you have to look at it from The Rock's perspective. The Rock is a part-time wrestler. He's still a Hollywood actor. Is he really going to risk getting seriously hurt? Is he going to have a match with a guy who's not very experienced in the ring? I think if you're The Rock, you're going to want to get in the ring with somebody you know you can trust. And CM Punk is considered to be a ring general, one of the best workers in the business, a guy that can protect The Rock and has a lot of experience. So I just don't see a match with Ryback happening. It would be a huge match, no doubt about it, but CM Punk is the more established superstar, and that's the continuation of what started at Raw 1000, so that's the direction I see WWE going in, but will Ryback really lose to CM Punk again? Who knows? It's certainly interesting to see what happens in the next several weeks. Everybody says that if Rock vs. Cena 2 actually happens, Cena would be expected to get his win back. But the first 2 times Stone Cold and The Rock faced each other at WrestleMania, Austin won both matches. On that basis, do you think The Rock could beat Cena again? There's one big difference between those 2 matches, and that being The Rock is a part-time superstar now, and John Cena is WWE's cash cow. He is their biggest superstar. Is WWE really going to have their full-time top guy lose again to a part-time wrestler? I just don't see that happening, and that's why I think that if that match happens again, it will be obvious that Cena gets his win back. Just no way I see Cena losing again, and then The Rock just goes back to Hollywood, and that's the end of it. And John Cena's a 2-time loser. That would be a bad booking decision by WWE, and I just don't think it will happen. Do you think Owen Hart will be in the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame? That remains to be seen. Should it happen? Absolutely. Will it happen? That is a big question mark, and I think a lot of it depends on Owen's widow, Martha Hart. I do not think WWE will induct Owen Hart unless Martha gives her approval. If she is against it, I don't think WWE is going to go against her wishes. She's already been taking legal action against WWE for using Owen Hart in DVD footage. So for them to induct him in the Hall of Fame, I just don't know if she will ever agree to that. And that's unfortunate, but she is Owen's widow, and I think WWE will respect her wishes. If she does not want Owen in, they're not going to put him in. That's just the bottom line. This is from Mr. Sepp EV. Hey Aaron, what do you think of Goldberg continuing to put down Ryback on Twitter? If I'm Goldberg, I'm sure I'm sick and tired of fans constantly asking me about Ryback. And if I'm Goldberg, I'm just going to screw with them. I think that Goldberg likes to mess with the fans, and he says these things on Twitter just to get a rise out of people and to make them think that there might even be a remote possibility he'll come back to face Ryback. What are the actual chances of Goldberg coming back and facing Ryback? Slim to none. That's just the way it is. Goldberg is probably not coming back, and it would take a lot of money for Goldberg, I think, to even consider coming back, and WWE's not going to throw out that money at him. Just not going to happen. But I think Goldberg's doing it to amuse himself and to just get a reaction out of people and get them speculating and keeping his name out there. I think that's really all there is to it. Do you see a heel turn for AJ Styles looming? I say heel, more a stereotypical Southerner. No, I do not see an AJ Styles heel turn, and I think that that would be a terrible decision by TNA. Every time they've tried to turn him heel in the past, it's flopped. When they turned him heel a few years ago and put him with Ric Flair, it just didn't work. They tried to mold him into the new Nature Boy, and as great as AJ Styles is in the ring, he's not all that strong as a talker and as a heel personality. He's too much like his real life character, his real life personality. He's just the type of guy you don't want to hate, and he's a natural underdog. He's a high flyer. You know, he does all these phenomenal moves, and people naturally cheer for that. You don't boo a guy who does all that cool stuff. It just doesn't fit who AJ Styles is, both as a wrestler and a character and as a person. I just don't think he has that in him to be a serious heel and an effective heel. I just don't think that he has it in him. And TNA's already tried it. It didn't work. Let it be. Keep him as a babyface. That's the role he should be. This is from Devon DeAndre. I know WrestleMania isn't from some time, but what would be your best guess as the top 3 or 4 matchups on the card? This could change, but if you're going to put a gun to my head and make me list the top 3 matches for WrestleMania, it goes like this. John Cena versus The Rock 2, Brock Lesnar versus Triple H 2, and CM Punk versus The Undertaker. I personally would prefer a different card. I think that those 3 matches would be too predictable. But right now, that's what I'm going with. And it could very well change between now and Royal Rumble. We could have a better idea of what direction WWE is going in. But for this moment, that's what the WrestleMania card looks like to me. This is from Crayon4810. Hey Aaron, you just found a magical lamp with a genie who will grant you any 3 wrestling-related wishes. You cannot bring back anybody from the dead, though. Aww. What would your wishes be? Number 1 would be to have a new Monday Night Wars. Have a company, if not TNA, a different company that is on Monday nights, head-to-head with Raw, 2 hours, and you have that competition again. It's not a one-sided race. It's neck and neck, and they're both fighting for the ratings. You have a true ratings war again. Number 2 would be to have superstars with the charisma of a Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the larger-than-life superstars. You have more than just one. You have multiple guys on each show that are just the biggest draws that you've ever seen in wrestling. You know, the Stone Colds, the Hulk Hogans, the Rocks. And number 3 would be to have a better writing team. Writers that can plan out storylines well in advance, have 6 months to a year, and be able to write and have the ability to where you can throw in little swerves here and there so it's not totally predictable, but at the same time it makes sense. Have something that is a little bit unpredictable, but it still makes logical sense in the end. That's good storytelling and writing. Just have better writers. So those would be my 3 wishes. All right, this is from Sergio. I've been watching wrestling for over 20 years. Recently, I'm less interested, and I've kept watching to this point. So it's not like I grew out of it. I just skipped past a bunch of matches. Used to be divas. Is it just me, or have you noticed a recent decline? Well, certainly from a creative standpoint, WWE has been in a decline. But it is natural. I think when you grow up with something, you're always going to remember it being the best when you were growing up with it. You know, you look at like music and movies. You always feel that the best music was when you were a kid growing up, and you know, movies, same thing, and same thing with wrestling. I mean, people that grew up on the Attitude Era are naturally gonna like the Attitude Era the best. That's what made them fans. And when it changes, it's not gonna be what they grew up with, and they're not gonna like it as much. Just a natural process. And if you grew up with the 80s rock and wrestling, that's going to be your favorite era. That's going to be the era that you remember most fondly. I can imagine, you know, 15 years from now, the fans that grew up on John Cena are going to talk about how John Cena was part of WWE's glory period, and then that was the good old days when John Cena was on top. You know it's going to happen 15, 20 years from now. But yeah, I'm you know, looking at all the eras of WWE and their creative process. This is certainly not their best period, but then again, it's not their worst. Their worst would be the mid-90s, and as bad as WWE is at times, I still think they're way better off creatively than they were in the mid-90s. This is from Deval David 9. Who do you think any of these 5 guys will win the Royal Rumble? Ryback, Wade Barrett, The Miz, or Tyson Kidd? None of them. Ryback, maybe. Ryback is a possibility, a long shot. I could very well see him winning and going on to face, I've talked about this in previous videos, maybe the Big Show, but there's really no way to know at this point. I still see Ryback as a long shot, and the other guys, no, don't see them winning. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Hope you all have a good Black Friday, holiday shopping weekend, whatever your plans are. Have fun, be safe, don't trample over people, and I'll see you next week for more No DQ&A video.